Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill Live this Sunday morning. This past week, the president of the Montgomery County School Board, Carla Silvestri, testified on Capitol Hill about the rise of anti-Semitic incidents in public schools there. She talked about the steps being taken to combat these hate crimes. As you might not know, Maryland has the highest number of anti-Semitic incidents in the area, the 7th highest in the country, with Virginia and D.C. seeing massive increases in Maryland, with harassment and vandalism totaling over 300 incidents. Meredith Weisel is the D.C. Regional Director of the Anti-Defamation League, and you're pleasant enough to join us this morning. About 2 weeks ago, I went to a synagogue in Montgomery County, which they had a sign out front, and all it said was "Free the hostages." Mm-hmm. It was desecrated. How has the rampant rise of these anti-Semitic incidents really kind of added pain to an already painful situation for the people who have been waiting for these hostages to be released?
Look, the past few years, we have seen a tremendous increase. And if you look at our statistics that ADL puts out, this year in 2023, the numbers were the highest we have seen since 1979 of tracking this. And the past 5 years, we've seen this tremendous increase. Anti-Semitism has become mainstreamed. It's become an acceptable form of hate for everybody, and that's not okay.
Where is this coming from? Because you look at these numbers right now here, 339 anti-Semitic incidents reported, 210 harassment issues. Is this organic, or are the people doing this getting it from someplace else?
So we don't have necessarily one particular place. We're seeing it across the spectrum. We see it in our schools. You mentioned how the Montgomery County School Board president had to testify. We are seeing it on our campuses. You just heard a GW student talk about it. There's a hatred coming from a couple of different directions. So certainly since October 7th, we've seen this tremendous increase in not just criticism of the Israeli government, which is perfectly okay, but conflating it to Jews worldwide. And because of that, so you mentioned a synagogue whose sign was recently vandalized. It wasn't even about the hostages. They're putting on their things about free Palestine. And look, there's a humanitarian crisis. A lot of us agree. But that's not okay to conflate criticism of the government and blame all Jews globally and saying Zionists not allowed, who just believe the state of Israel should exist.
One of the things that struck me when I talked to members of the congregation there that day was that a lot of them had very sympathetic things to say about the Palestinian civilians that are caught in this right now. Is that message getting out?
I don't know that it is getting out, and it's very unfortunate because if you watch when a lot of us are talking, I just said a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. I feel for the Palestinians, but I also know that Hamas is a terrorist organization that brutally massacred Israelis and many people who were not even Jewish there, and their only goal is to eradicate the state of Israel and wipe the Jewish population off the map. That's where we have to start from to understand how bad this crisis is.
This is not only just physical acts. We see this in social media, which in some ways now is the predominant arena where a lot of this stuff gets out. How are the social media companies, do you think, doing in dealing with this kind of material, which we see widespread now across social media platforms?
They're not doing good. They're not combating hate on their platforms. They are allowing things. For years, we saw things like Holocaust denial on a lot of these platforms. Now we are seeing denial that there were mass rapes, sexual assaults, and brutally murdering people on October 7th. They are allowing that to proliferate on their platforms, and we have to do a better job to counter that hate. That allows hate to become mainstreamed and anti-Semitism to be a part of our society.
Now, I know ADL has resources online for people to make use of, to maybe combat, anti-Semitism, and also kind of find out ways to kind of talk about this and have discussion rather than people yelling at each other. How can people access that?
So one of the most incredible resources that we have as a country is our education. And one of the best things that we have, there's a whole segment on our website for education resources, how to talk to your children, how to have a conscientious conversation about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, how to talk to your kids, just in general. And all of that is adl.org. and you can go to our education section.
Discussion is important. Meredith Weisel, the Anti-Defamation League of DC, the regional director. We thank you so much for an important conversation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.